Avarice by Vincent Osborne, ladies and gentlemen. One of his challenging 7 Deadly Sins collection. All 7 pieces will be on display this evening. Welcome to my gallery. Welcome to Beyond the Edge. Enjoy! Come through, please. Well, I see you've met our Sarah. She's going to be very big. Oh, excuse me. Penny? Last review wouldn't go astray. Think of my stress level.
Think of my credibility, Norseder. Where is Osborne, anyway?
Oh, don't worry. He'll make his grand entrance as usual.
This is not art! This is death! Justicia para el artista!
It's Osborne.
Central 10, standing by for VKG.
Go ahead, Central 10.
We have a deceased at this location. It appears suspicious. Could we have central detectives on the crime scene attend?
Central 10, copy that.
So we have a preliminary ID. It's the sculptor, Vincent Osborne. Looks like he quit while he was ahead. I'm waiting to see what Lance's X-ray machine will reveal in the other sculptures.
Well, Tootsie, do we have any guarantee that these are Osborne's hands?
What?
Well, there's nothing to say there's not more than one body involved, is there?
The way your mind works.
I'll take some samples for DNA testing. It looks like rigor mortis has come and gone, so they're at least 24 hours old.
Do we know where the murder took place?
Yes, upstairs.
So, Mr. Nossiter, nobody else uses this studio?
No, it was exclusively Osborne's.
Constable, get some shots in there, will you? And the sculpture was last seen in this room.
I took it down to the exhibition, set it up myself. I thought it was a bit heavy.
Mr. Nossiter, this is Detectives Vance and Hayden. Mr. Nossiter owns the gallery.
How do you do? What do you got for us, Mr. Fisk? Well, I've seen enough to conclude that the murder took place here as well as the dismembering. Blood everywhere in there. Just don't touch a thing, all right?
Sir, we're going to need your fingerprints, plus those of anybody else who happen to be in here.
Yes, well, of course I'll cooperate fully, but if you could just remind your people that there are works of art here.
Oh, Mr. Nossiter, this is you, isn't it?
Guilty. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry, it's an unfortunate choice of words.
And, these 2 women, I saw them downstairs.
Penny Satchwell and Sarah Watson. Sarah's one of my protégés.
Excuse me, was that Penny Satchwell?
Yes, sir. Art critic.
Vincent Osborne was creating the 7 Deadly Sins. He was looking for the perfect face to represent avarice. He tried us all, but in the end, of course, the only face most fitting was his own.
When did you last see Mr. Osborne, sir?
About 10 last night. He was still working on avarice. He had the mould on his head. I was absolutely furious.
Why was that, sir?
Well, 24 hours before the start of an exhibition, and he hadn't finished. He just slammed the door in my face.
Well, I see. So you admit that this was a serious argument?
It was a one-way argument. I yelled and he slammed the door in my face. I thought he was going to let me down. I think I have a right to be a little testy.
What about this drunk that turned up and tried to smash the sculpture?
Oh, Franco Garcia. I have no idea where he is. He just ran off into the night, tried the pubs. This is his studio. Vincent Osborne discovered Franco somewhere on the Mediterranean, a bar probably. Osborne persuaded me to take him on. He's got a naive style, quite interesting. They were supposed to share the exhibition.
Where's his work?
Oh, I don't know. He disappeared 3 days ago, took his paintings with him. This has not been my week.
Can you explain his behaviour tonight?
Oh, your guess is as good as mine, Inspector. Drunken stupidity.
Have you got an address for this Franco?
Garcia. Yeah, I might have something at the office, but it's probably useless.
Hey, you got his address or not?
Inspector, these people are artists. They don't live like we do. God knows where they sleep.
Sarah Watson?
Yeah.
I'm Detective Vance. This is Detective Hayden. Do you have a studio here?
No, my workshop's a few doors up.
But you knew the victim, Vincent Osborne.
Mm-hmm.
What about Franco Garcia?
Yep.
What can you tell us about their relationship?
They were colleagues.
Friendly colleagues?
Not really. They argued a bit about art and things. Artists do, though. Do you mind if I go? I'm feeling a bit weird.
Yeah, that should be fun. Look, you can come down to homicide tomorrow?
Sure. No worries.
Sarah, can you tell us where Miss Satchwell is?
She's gone home. She wasn't feeling very well. How do you think she's going to feel? There's a husband inside that thing.
Okay, stand clear, everyone. We're going to x-ray the torso now.
Please, Mr. Fisk.
Oh, don't worry, Mr. Nossiter. I quite like this place. Clear away things, clear.
Yes, it's very nice.
Excuse me, Fisk? Mr. Noster. This is blood, isn't it?
Paint.
Well, we'll see when we get back to the lab. Behind the police tape, thanks.
Now, this is a list of tonight's guests. They're all going to have to be interviewed. This, hopefully, is Franco Garcia's address. Okay.
Looking for the mad Spaniard, are you?
Mr. Garcia, yeah.
Arresting him, I hope.
Is he at home?
No flamenco music. No sounds of smashing bottles. I'd say he's out.
Terrific.
Hey, Steve. Hey.
Yeah?
You all right? You've been edgy all day.
I'm sick of weirdos, Tessa.
Dios mío. Dios mío. Dios mío.
Go ahead, Miss Satchwell.
I want to be frank. I think it might save us all some time. This isn't a confession, detectives. My marriage to Vincent Osborne was all but over. Divorce proceedings were in process.
Who is initiating?
The divorce? Vincent. He said he didn't love me anymore.
Not amicable, then.
Vincent wasn't worried about losing a wife, but losing a tame art critic worried him greatly. We had lunch together 2 days ago. It turned into a violent row. You would have found out sooner or later.
And what was it about? The settlement?
The exhibition. Vincent wanted a guarantee of a good review. I refused. Things went downhill from there. That was the last time I saw him.
Mr. Osborne's work, was it?
Considered valuable? Hardly. Even Nossiter could see the writing on the wall. Vincent had been living off his reputation for quite some time. But notoriety is nothing unless it's selling your work.
No buyers at all.
Well, one. But I gather there'd been some problems there. Late payments.
Can you give us a name?
He was at the exhibition last night. His name is Warren Lehman.
Don't mind Monty. He's perfectly harmless. Unless you happen to be a white mouse or a day-old chick.
He's a pet, is he, sir?
Companion. They're very affectionate, you know. I suppose this is about last night. Dreadful business.
Did you know the victim was Vincent Osborne?
Well, yes. After that woman stopped screaming.
How well did you know Osborne, sir?
I knew his art detective. I had no contact with the man personally. My dealings were all with the gallery owner, Mr. Nossiter.
You must have quite a collection by now. Where do you keep it?
No, I'm not a collector. I have friends in Asia who are. One of them saw an article on Osborne's work. I purchased a piece for him. It became a sort of hobby, buying and selling on. There, Monty. It's all right. You're making him nervous.
Just a minute, there's something lodged behind his oropharynx. It's a ring. I wonder if it belongs to him.
Why would you force a ring down someone's throat?
Well, that kind of gesture's not uncommon in a mutilation murder, you know. Humiliating the victim, empowering the perpetrator.
Are there any indentations inside the mouth, Imogen?
No, none that I can see.
Excuse me.
Hey,
Yeah.
you okay?
Yeah, I've seen enough. I'm going back to the office. Call me when Fisk's ready, will you?
Right.
I tell you what is interesting, though, Lance. I found some sticky gum-like substances on the skin of the wrists. Have a look at that.
Now, the same sticky substance is on the sides and the underpart of Osborne's chair. Residue from packing tape.
Right, so presumably he was tied down, yeah?
Certainly was. Now, plugs found in the victim's nose and the powder from the mouth are made from the same ingredients: sand, lime and water.
Plaster of Paris.
Plaster of Paris, the very time. Osborne was making a mould of his own face. All right, so his head was covered in plaster. What Nossiter saw when he looked in was this. It's a plaster mould. Now, there would have been holes for the nostrils.
Right, and he would have stuck the straws up so he could breathe.
Absolutely. Just sit down here, would you, please, Tessa? Just demonstrate. Now, so Osborne's sitting there, he's waiting for the plaster to dry. He's blinkered, he's a very easy target.
Right, so the killer could have come
Comes up from behind,
yeah.
tapes the arms to the chair, tapes the neck. Then, simply a matter of removing the straws and capping the nostrils with a dollop of plaster.
And watched him suffocate.
Indeed. Then, the killer decapitated Osborne, broke the mould, took the head out, dipped it in plaster, allowing it to dry as a perfect plaster replica of Osborne.
What about the scythe?
Yeah, one for you, I'm afraid. That is definitely the implement used to dismember the body. All right, the killer was arrogant enough to leave Osborne's blood all over it.
If you were going to dismember a body, is that what you'd use?
If it was handy, yeah, which it was.
No, but the crime doesn't read that way. It had to be cold-blooded, not passionate.
Yeah, what about the Spaniard, by the way? Any luck?
No, nothing.
It's interesting here. It says he tried to strangle an art critic once.
Oh, I believe that's known as justifiable homicide in the art world.
Gee, the wife's got a few skeletons in the closet.
Dee, that is not for your entertainment.
Skeletons, eh? What skeletons?
Well, it seems that Penny's husband's had a habit of dying in mysterious ways.
The illustrious art critic surveys the work. Her opinion is valued, as always. An improvement?
Did you know it was Osborne inside that damn plaster head?
It was really Osborne's head on the floor? How wonderful! Did I do it?
Is that what you're planning on telling the police? I can't remember.
Let the police figure it out for themselves!
You can't hide here forever, Franco. And running will only make things worse.
Sarah!
What do you want?
They're putting together a retrospective on Vincent Osborne's life and work, airing prime time tomorrow night. Perfect time to relaunch the exhibition.
Reopening? You're not serious?
And I need to replace the sculpture that was destroyed. I thought we might use your Predator piece.
What, because it's a good piece of art or because you just need to fill in a gap?
Sarah? Sarah? Sarah, look at me. Sarah? Now, I promised I'd exhibit you. This is your opportunity. Take it.
My opportunity? Over Osborne's dead body?
Well, no, not over his body as such. I mean, not at least until they find it.
Richard.
Look at this black humour. Well, Osborne would have liked it. Look, I'm sorry, but you see, the fact is he's worth more to us dead than he ever was alive.
Penny Satchwell and her first husband kept open house. They had artists staying with them all the time. Now, that same first husband was found dead, floating in their pool.
And?
Death by misadventure.
The coroner relied heavily on evidence given by an artist staying in the house at the time, one Vincent Osborne.
Whom she later married.
Yeah, who, until his death, was in the process of divorcing her.
Divorce. Worth exploring. Now, did anybody else have a motive for Osborne's death?
Well, yeah, I mean, he received hate mail all the time, mainly from religious groups who found his work offensive.
Yeah, Franco obviously hated Osborne. If we can find him, we can ask him why.
Yeah, no, Nossiter, the gallery owner, he was about to drop Osborne. I can't see why he'd kill him.
And Osborne's only patron, Warren Lehman, he's hardly going to kill the goose that lays the golden egg, is he?
Judge Warren Lehman.
Retired judge.
Forced into early retirement after making some controversial remarks to a jury.
Yeah.
Caused a mistrial in a murder case.
Okay, hi. That was Franco Garcia. Stevie wants to talk to you.
Right.
Franco, huh?
You seen Osborne exhibition. I wanted you to see mine.
Who did this?
Osborne!
And how did you feel about that, Mr. Garcia?
Mio, how do you think I feel? This is a year of my life! I made trouble during Osborne exhibition opening. I was a bit drunk. I just want you to understand why. Ah!
Mr. Garcia, would you mind sitting down, sir?
This is bad. Very bad.
Yeah, Mr. Garcia, sit down and tell me about this argument with Mr. Osborne,
We
please.
fought. We didn't argue.
Tessa's got the search warrant, sir.
Good. I want that house turned inside out.
Okay. What are we looking for?
The rest of Vincent Osborne.
Would you mind sitting down and telling me about it?
It's an artist thing. He shows me something that he's working on. I said it stinks. He returns me the favor. It wasn't personal.
After what he did to your work,
I
right?
hated him for that, but I didn't kill him for it.
And when did this argument take place?
I don't know. I went out to get drunk. I don't know.
Well, that's a shame.
Dios mío. Dios. Osborne was at me every day, every night for a week.
Yeah.
I thought I was going crazy. He said that my painting was rubbish and I believed him for that. Then I took them back to my place, and when I was drunk enough, I put a knife to them.
So you did it?
Osborne made me! He did it! He's responsible!
Nossiter.
Mr. Lehman.
My condolences.
Yes, a sad loss to the art world and to all of us.
I see you've decided to carry on with the exhibition.
Osborne would have wanted it.
This piece. I would very much like this piece.
The price has changed.
To what degree?
what you paid last time, multiplied by 10.
That's outrageous.
It's called the deceased artiste factor.
There are people who'd be interested to know how you do business.
And I'm sure there are certain facts you wouldn't want made public, Mr. Lehman. Threats are cheap. Anyone can play.
Franco's house. Anything come out of the search?
No, Fisk drew a blank. Hey, when was this taken?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, before Franco barged into the art gallery and started to smash the place up. It's a photo the critic Penny Satchel took.
I don't care how famous Osborne was. Wouldn't give you 2 bob for that.
But he knows what he likes.
You know, if Franco killed Osborne, there's no way he'd barge into the gallery and expose the crime like that.
Well, maybe that's what he wants us to think.
You know, sometimes if it smells guilty, if it looks guilty, then chances are it is.
Interesting piece.
Thanks.
You haven't made it down to homicide yet.
Yeah, I don't know anything about Osborne's death. I just didn't see the point.
Detectives, not more questions, surely.
Mr. Nossiter, is there a complete inventory of Mr. Osborne's work, sir? Not just the pieces on display, but everything in the premises?
Yes, of course. I have a copy in my office.
Thank you.
Miss Satchel, why the photographs?
Vincent's death has generated a little industry. I've been commissioned to do a spread on the life and career of Vincent Osborne.
Ms. Satchel, speaking as an art critic...
Could I influence the market value of Vincent's work?
No, actually, that wasn't the question that I was going to ask. It was, how would you know that it was a genuine Osborne? Sculptors, I believe, unlike painters, don't necessarily sign their work.
And Vincent changed his style the way some people change their socks. But he did sign his work, Mr. Frisk.
Fisk.
Of course. Look here. Vincent had a signet ring made, a stylized Oz, as in Osborne. Quite tiny. He'd imprinted somewhere in the wet plaster. The eyes were a favourite.
Oh, yes. No such mark on Avarice. Of course, obviously, because Osborne didn't sign it, the killer did.
Excuse me.
You know, if there's one thing I hate...
And it's people who anticipate what you're going to say next.
Absolutely.
Are we done?
Not quite, no. Now, I see you found a replacement scythe.
Well, it'd look pretty ridiculous without it.
Yes, point taken. Delicate job getting it back in the hand. Who did the job for you?
Well, I did it myself. I wouldn't trust anyone else. These pieces are quite valuable now.
And what would be your commission on a sale, sir?
60%.
60%? That's quite a windfall.
More so if one already owned the Vincent Osborne original.
Don't let the bed bugs bite. Come on, Monty. Dinner time for both of us, I think. Who will it be today? Mickey or Minnie? Eeny, meeny, miny, oh. Layman. Oh, yes, I'm sorry. Come on, Monty. I am sorry. Yes, I should have contacted, informed you. Yeah. It changes nothing. There's no problem. It is already in transit. Oh, please, trust me.
There's a piece of Osborne's work missing.
Stolen?
No, it's an earlier piece called Torso. Sold and paid for. It had nothing to do with the exhibition, but it was still in the building the night Osborne was murdered.
No guesses who bought it, right? Layman.
Yeah, it was crated at the gallery and removed the next morning, couriered to the cargo warehouse.
Now, this was after the murder, but before Osborne's head was found.
Yeah, we've got to customs in time. It's been confiscated and Fisk's got it.
So there definitely is room in there for a body here.
Oh, absolutely. Remember, Osborne made this from a mould of his own body.
What are you doing?
Well, there are no eyes, you see. And I'm wondering where Osborne signed it. Oh, hang on. Here it is, on the nape of the neck.
Right, can we get on with this, please?
We can indeed. Steer well clear in there, thanks.
That is Osborne. He's got a pretty good...
You too, Constable. All clear. Hang on. There's something inside this sculpture.
Good. Open her up.
Yo.
Yes, well, if you want me, I'll be in my office.
Ah.
Mr. Lehman, this is a warrant to search these premises, sir.
This is ridiculous. You have no right.
You used to be a judge, sir. You know better than that.
Let me see the warrant.
So, does this house have a cellar, Mr. Lehman?
No. Just what do you think you're going to find?
What have you got to hide, sir?
Steve? Mm-hmm. This is quite a lock.
Would you mind unlocking that for us, sir, please?
I never use that room. I've no idea where the key is.
Right, well, we'll just have to wait for the boys with the sledgehammer, eh?
Yeah.
Cup of tea, perhaps?
Unlock the door, sir.
Is there a light switch here, Mr. Lehman?
Lower, on the left.
Oh, whoa.
They won't take my snakes away. They can't do that, can they?
Let's talk about the snakes.
You're facing charges regarding the smuggling of wildlife, Mr. Lehman. It's in your interests to tell us the truth.
I keep snakes. I collect them. I breed them. I'm a respected herpetologist.
Ophiophilia.
What?
Obsession with snakes has a name, Ophiophilia.
Is that right?
How did Vincent Osborne fit in?
I was desperate to find a safe way to send specimens overseas. 2 years ago, I read an article about Osborne. His hollow sculptures were perfect. Please, you must understand, my snakes mean everything to me.
Enough to kill for?
I won't dignify that with an answer.
How did, Mr. Osborne feel about you using his art like that?
That egomaniac knew nothing about it.
Well, someone did. Someone with the expertise to open and reseal the sculptures.
I did it myself.
Or maybe Osborne found out that you were filling his masterpieces full of reptiles and he threatened to expose you.
He didn't know.
Judge, 2 years ago, you told a jury, and I quote, "In defence of an ideal or a passion, homicide may be seen to be justifiable."
You can't condemn me on an ill-considered remark to a jury.
Judge, I've read the transcript. You made that statement because you believed it, sir, even though it cost you your job. Now, I believe you'd kill to protect your snakes, wouldn't you?
They're warm, you know, and dry, and very, very intelligent.
What are you doing here, Franco?
Osborne is dead. And it's your lucky break. Enjoy it. Me? I think I'll take this studio.
Oh, how petty.
If I could, I would dance on his grave.
What's going on?
This studio's free. I want it.
Studio B is for painters. It has all the light.
Ha! Put a window here. Bring the light in here.
What are you going to do? Walk out, find another gallery to keep you in booze?
Ah!
By all means, think about it.
He's worse than Osborne.
Sarah, go home. You take care of your talent, and I'll take care of everything else.
Lehman must have had help in these smuggling operations. Now, most probably Nossiter. But would Lehman be an accomplice to murder?
Malcolm, give us another shot at Lehman, will you? He was going to pieces in there. Maybe he's ready to confess.
I doubt that you'll get a confession. There was nothing in his house to link him to Osborne's murder. Certainly not Osborne's remains.
Hey, what do snakes eat?
Yeah. Anything, if it's chopped up small enough.
Oh, terrific. Just what the world needs. Another freak.
Ophiophilia. What? Lehman had an obsession with snakes. There's a word for that, Stephen. Ophiophilia.
Right.
You know, we shouldn't discount the other suspects. Penny Satchwell, the wife. She would have gained financially from Osborne's death, wouldn't she?
Yeah, but not as much as Nossiter, the gallery owner.
Yeah, well, don't forget the elusive Sarah Watson. I mean, none of them have got alibis, especially Franco.
Look, we got good reasons to suspect everyone. Grounds to charge someone?
Detective Vance?
Penny Satchwell, Detective.
Satchwell. What can I do for you?
I'm here at the gallery. I'm phoning from Nossiter's office. I have something to show you. I think I know who killed Osborne. It won't make any sense over the phone. You have to come here.
Well, that doesn't make very much sense. I think if you know who the killer is, you should tell me.
No, you must see this. You must see what kind of ego would do this. I'm talking proof.
There you go. What do you mean by that?
The word that interested me was proof.
Nossiter. Nossiter, is that you? Hello? Nossiter? This is not amusing.
What do snakes eat?
What? I had to ask.
Yeah, I know, and you weren't even joking.
No.
Doesn't it worry you?
No.
I mean, talking about feeding body parts to snakes and finding human remains in sculptures, and you're not even batting an eyelid.
It's my job. It's the job.
You know what? Freaks aren't out there. We're the freaks.
Detectives, what now?
We're looking for Miss Satchwell.
Well, I said you could use my office to write up the notes.
Tessa?
All right, that's me done.
All right, Imogen, you come.
No witty remarks, do you?
What is your problem?
Nossiter says that he was upstairs when this happened. Sarah Watson and Franco Garcia were here, but they'd left.
Dear, oh dear. I'm afraid to ask.
Actually, no, it's only a single stab wound to the upper abdomen. It's probably massive internal bleeding. Death would have been quick.
Mr. Fisk?
Well, at the risk of stating the obvious, this has been used as a pendulum, so it's attached with a cable here. The killer has held it back, released it. The victim's been trapped, pinned like an insect.
Nossiter says that he heard nothing.
So once more, we're left with Mr. Nossiter's version of things. Bring him in. Find the painter and the sculptures.
Is this going to be your new piece?
Did you want to talk to me about something?
Yeah. Where were you an hour ago, Sarah?
I was at Nossiter's gallery. I was cleaning the upstairs studio.
Did you see Penny Satchwell at all?
Yeah, earlier. She was taking photos. I didn't see her when I left.
Who else was there?
Nossiter, Franco. Franco left before I did. Why? What's going on?
Penny Satchel's dead. Someone skewered her with your sculpture.
Blood on my work. What kind of karma is that? I should never have.
What do you know, Sarah?
We know that you were involved in Lehman's scam.
What scam? Whatever Lehman said, he's lying.
That would have destroyed your credibility as an art dealer if that was exposed, wouldn't it? Add to that how much more valuable Osborne is to you now that he's dead. You had quite a few reasons to want him out of the way.
I told you he was alive when I left the gallery.
Except nobody can confirm that, can they?
Yes. They can. I do have an alibi.
I brought my work to Nossiter about a year ago, and he encouraged me. He told me he'd launch me with my own exhibition. One night he came to my bedroom door, and I should have said no. That's where he was the night Osborne died, in my bed.
Why didn't you tell us this before?
Well, I sold myself for my art. Do you think I wanted to tell you I was a whore?
You trying to pin this on me?
Well, you hated Osborne, didn't you? You hated him, yep. And your relationship with Penny, could you tell me about that? She used to visit you at your house, yeah? We know.
Are you saying that we were lovers?
Did you tell Penny? Did you tell Penny that you killed Osborne, or was she in on it?
I didn't kill nobody. Penny wasn't my lover. She was my mentor. She believed in my art. She was my friend.
Yeah, Sarah Watson confirmed Nossiter's alibi.
And that leaves us with Franco.
Yeah, well, maybe Penny was going to spill the beans and he had to shut her up.
No, it wasn't just information. She wanted to show me something, physical evidence.
Oh, it's a pity murderers don't leave signs on their victims, isn't it?
Hello, it was me. Hello, it was me.
Sculptors, I believe, unlike painters, don't necessarily sign their work. I was wondering where Osborne left his signature.
You have to see what kind of ego would do this.
I know that look. You've stepped into the sick mind of some killer and made sense of it all, haven't you? Very satisfying.
Nossiter's office. We have to go to Nossiter's office.
But we checked the office.
Penny rang me from Nossiter's office saying that she had to show me something. That was probably right there in front of her. We need to talk to Fisk. Do you remember asking Penny Satchel about artists' authentication?
Yes, Osborne used his signet ring to mark his work.
That's right, but you said yourself that the killer would have finished off this sculpture. Now, Penny's words were, you should see the ego that would do this. There we go. That's the mark she wanted us to see. There.
This won't take long, Mr. Nossiter. Just a few moments of your time, sir.
We'd like you to have a look at a piece of Osborne's avarice mask. Concentrate on the earlobe, if you would.
Is this a joke?
No.
Do you see these pinholes?
Yes.
Do you recognise the pattern? You do, don't you?
Whose mark is that, sir?
Mutilation, but being burned alive. Now this is original. So come on!
Sarah, put it down. Sarah, this doesn't have to end badly. Put it down.
I'll burn it.
That's all you'll be remembered for, not your work!
sorry about Penny. She would have given me great reviews.
Now, Noster thought that he'd seen Osborne that night. What he actually saw was Sarah dressed in Osborne's pants and smock, wearing a plaster mould on her head.
Where was Osborne?
Well, she'd already killed him. There's not much left of him.
All right, Imogen, ready for your expertise here at the acid bath?
Now, there's an invitation a girl could hardly refuse.
So the chair was on casters. Sarah rolled Osborne to the back of the studio while she dealt with Nossiter. And then she left to meet Nossiter at her flat.
We thought that she had given Nossiter an alibi, but actually she had used him as one.
Yeah, that's right, exactly. So, after Nossiter had left her flat, she then went back to the studio, dismembered Osborne's body, brought the body parts back here and let the acid bath do its work.
And this is Osborne?
Yeah. Hey.
Yeah.
That was terrific back there, inviting Sarah to kill you. Really good police work, well done.
It's called thinking on your feet, reverse psychology.
Oh, right. I thought you were better trained than that, but there you go. I don't understand you, do I?
Well, maybe I don't understand me either. I can't get inside their heads like you do. I mean, even if I could understand why Sarah killed Osborne, I can't understand how she could stuff his body in one of his own sculptures. But you do, don't you?
Okay. She thought that she was creating an artistic masterpiece.
Art? You call that art?
No, I don't call it art. I call it murder.
Well, there's nothing like a confrontation with a blowtorch to clear your head, hey? I feel better. See ya.